Yes.
So we are live with the great Maya Moore. Maya, thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Just take me through whether it felt just normal to you to get that call, you know, basically someone who never loses, you know, to hear that you're part of this Olympic team. What was it like?
Yeah, it's such a special. I mean, I think the way this team appreciates each other and appreciates our experience, when we get that call, we truly are excited because we know this is such a rare opportunity. And just to have Coach Ariella being the coach again, and so many players that I've played with for years and years now. And then we got some fresh faces, so it's just a fun time. It's going to be a unique experience now that I'm not the young one. And getting the call for the second time, I have, I think, a deeper appreciation, but a different appreciation of what to expect and our time together.
That's what I was curious about that. You know, not being new to the team,
Yep.
but obviously, you know, you're not one of the four-timers. You know,
Yep.
what do you view as like your role in terms of leadership? Because that's a role you took on early in Minnesota.
Yeah. Well, I have a similar experience in Minnesota where I was drafted #1 to a team that was, you know, an injury or two away from being awesome. And so I came in and there were already 4 captains on that team with Simone Augustus and Lindsay Whaler, who are on the team right now and who are currently still my teammates. And so I've been able to learn from them, and the situation is the same here. I come in, I try to lead by example and do everything that I can to be great. But I also know I can defer to those leaders at the same time for guidance at any point. But it's really a fluid leadership kind of style on our team as far as who steps up, you know, in the moment.
Now,
so it's neat.
And now you've been so much a do-anything player at the WNBA level. You know, playing some 2 this past year. You know, as needed. You know, where do you feel like you fit in the most on the court with this Olympic team, given the roster?
On the court.
Yes.
That's my answer.
Period.
On the court. Wherever. It doesn't matter. That's the beauty of what Coach Ariella has us in general offensively. It's very versatile. You're playing basketball. So if you're right here, you're playing basketball. If you're right here, you're playing basketball. There's just the basketball instinct and decision making that happens in certain times on the floor. And it's really fun because it really allows different players to do different things. So Elena could be, you know, on the 3 and I could be the 4. You know, Elena could be on the other side, or Stewie could be on the wing, or Catch could be on the wing. Diana could be posting up. So it's a fun, versatile style that will play a pass, cut, screen, move, make reads, and shoot. So whether I'm starting as the power forward or as the small forward or as the 2 guard, I mean, I enjoy shooting threes. So at the 2, 3, and 4, I'll be able to do that with the system he has in place. So I'm just wanting to be on the floor.
Is it hard to replicate that with a more limited time frame to be able to practice and get ready for the Olympics? You know, relative to like what it's like at UConn, where you're practicing that, you know, on a year-round basis.
Yeah. Yes and no. I think we've had consistency with USA basketball because we've had kind of the same players continue to own this team and want to show up and be present and take part. And so we're consistent that way with, I don't know, was it 8 out of the 12 are Olympians from the last, something like that,
yes.
7 or 8 of us. So there's that consistency there. But at the same time, we still need to be together on the court, sharpening those details that it takes to win. I know we make it look easy a lot, but those 2 weeks that we have to prep right before the Olympics is all we get.
Right.
You know, we have a training camp here and there every year, but those 2 weeks we have to lock in so much to make sure that we have those details, because every team is going to bring their best against us.
Another thing you've made look easy is win WNBA championships with the 3 and 5 years.
Ooh, they weren't easy.
I do wonder about it. So, you know, when you look at sort of the way the focus of the league in year 20 is on history.
Yes.
Do you think about just the legacy that you've already managed to put together, you know, at, you know, such a young age?
Yeah, it's really unbelievable. I'm so fortunate to have come into the Minnesota Lynx United with all the pieces being put in place, and I was just kind of that final piece, as well as Taj Williams Franklin, who was there my first 2 years as a great leader, starting center for us, and we just were off to the races in 2011. And then just thinking of these last 5 years, it has been absolutely incredible to think of all the things that we had to do and that had to go right for us to even have a chance to get to the finals. And we've been on a roll, so we want to continue that. We want to stay focused into those things that it took to get us to that position. But last year was definitely the hardest. You know, going all 5 games against Indiana, and I feel like we're in a place in our team where we're still getting better. We're still figuring out what does our best look like as the unit that we have now. So it's an exciting time to get back in the kitchen and start cooking up again and seeing what we can do this year.
And Coach Reeve talked about it, and it seemed like there was sort of an evolution from you guys as offensive efficiency being your calling card to even defensive efficiency being more the way that you got there, especially in the Indiana series. Do you view it as that way, and do you see this year as a year where you guys sort of put that stamp on the defense from the beginning? Because it was a challenge for a while. You guys took a while to sort of get to where you needed to be, both with injuries and playing together as a team until we got September, October last year.
Yeah, I mean the first 4 years that I was on the team, we were leading the league in offensive and defensive categories, and that's a lot of times people don't realize we were the best defensive team every year we won. Last year it took us a different route, but we got there eventually. So that's not a secret. If you want to win championships, you have to be able to shut people down at the right time. So that's always going to be something that we value. But you got to be able to score. This league is so good that if you can't score the ball, it's going to put that much more pressure on your defense. And so every team has the same amount of time to work on things, but if we spend a little more time on offense, we might have to. We'll spend as much time on defense that we need, but at the end of the day, you have to value defense. You can practice it so many times, but if you don't value defense, it's going to show. So I'm looking forward to continuing to lead and to fight for leadership and defensive categories across the league.
Last question. When you think about what you want your career to be, do you have a number in mind for championships? Do you have a place you'd like to get to, whether you want to share it or not, as far as number that you want to win before you're said and done?
I can't even think that long term or that big picture. I'm just trying to think of, all right, what do I need to do in practice tomorrow? And what do I need to do the next day? And then I look back on my career and I think, wow, this is amazing. It's nice to say, I want this, but only God knows what's going to happen. And sometimes you happen to be right. Most of the time, you're probably wrong in guessing the future. But I can tell you right now, I couldn't have guessed 3 to 5 years standing here today. So just really grateful for that. And but I can say I want one more at least.
Right.
We're in season right now, so I want another one.
Well, no one's betting against that. Maya, thank you so much for your time.
Okay.
It's great to see you.